Hello there. Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 8 books, host of 2 PBS specials, here again to bring you another tip on how to help you create the life you want. Specifically, how to use my life from the top of the mind philosophy to bring more clarity, confidence, creativity into everything you do. Today I want to talk about the concept of dealing with disappointment. And this came from a book that I'm reading by Brené Brown called Atlas of the Heart, one of her latest books, really, really good. Came across this quote around disappointment I thought was really poignant. It says, too many people in the world today are willing to live disappointed rather than risking disappointment. Too many people are willing to live disappointed rather than risking disappointment. I think that's important because, a lot of people have this belief that if I just kind of have low expectations about myself and everybody else around me, then I'll never be disappointed and it'll be fine. And generally, this probably comes from having been disappointed in the past. And so the brain has a tendency to want to protect ourselves from feeling bad. For those of you who follow my life from the top of the mind philosophy, the brain, especially the middle part of the brain, is the scanner, processor, router part of the brain. And it's been designed to keep us safe as long as we're on the planet. So not too long ago, being stressed or worried or anxious, or maybe even avoiding disappointment might have actually kept us safe. Now, today, it has a tendency to live disappointed. Reminds me of another quote that I send out to those 6,000 folks on my quote list, by the way. And if you want to be on that list, every week I send out one of my favorite quotes along with 2 or 3 paragraphs about how to apply that quote to life. And so one of the quotes is, sometimes people stay in hell a long time because they've learned the names of the streets. In other words, they've learned to survive in this kind of disappointed, negative, kind of using fear or avoidance as a way of life. Another quote that I've used in the past is, when our purpose becomes avoidance, our life becomes a void. And that void is generally filled with fear. So rather than trying to live disappointed, I think we want to look at the concept of disappointment and say, okay, well, I don't want to just continually be disappointed after disappointed after disappointed. So how can I live in a way where I'm not living in disappointment or living disappointed and still kind of have some protection around being disappointed? Well, first, I think we want to make sure that we are putting our tendency to hope things turn out, our optimism, let's say, on the things that we can influence and control. I'm a big fan of working with Stephen Covey's circle of influence versus a circle of concern. And he talks about the circle of influence in our relationships, which is true. I like to bring that circle in a little bit and say the circle of influence is what part of the brain we're in, what part of the brain we trust to drive our thoughts, decisions, and behavior. There's a video I'm using in my seminars today that talks about being above the line or below the line. And above the line is in the top of the mind, this upper 80% of the brain, where we have access to our clarity, confidence, creativity, compassion, ability to deal with disappointment, etc. Below the line is this lower brain, where then we get anxious, stressed, frustrated, worried, angry, depressed, disappointed, in a way where we are living disappointed. So the concept of optimism, I think, is a really important component here, because some people are really afraid that if I'm optimistic and something doesn't turn out, well, I'll be really disappointed and I'll feel bad. And so rather than risking that one feel bad, they have a tendency to live in this disappointed perspective, thinking, okay, well, if I don't expect much, then I'll never be disappointed. And I think while that does keep us a little safe from that one drop, it has us living in the moment in a way that we probably wouldn't recommend to someone we love. I kind of doubt that we would recommend those we love you should basically live disappointed in order to avoid risking disappointment. We probably wouldn't say what a great philosophy of life that is. So I think what we want to do is look at the concept of realistic optimism versus Pollyanna optimism, like everything's going to be great and all I got to do is hold an image in my mind and the universe will bring it to me. That doesn't have us influencing it in any way. So I like to ask the questions, okay, what are the qualities or characteristics that I'm bringing to life that will allow me to be successful and minimize disappointment? I'm a speaker, I'm a presenter, and I like to make sure that I'm bringing my best to a presentation. And every once in a while, I like to think that most people really like it and I get really good reviews and really good scores. But every once in a while, someone will say, rah, 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 really didn't work for me. Rah, 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 rah. And I've got to make sure that I don't kind of make that particular disappointment around that particular one person's perspective something that I go, well, then I just shouldn't expect anybody to like what I do and just kind of, hope that they just don't throw eggs at me or something like that. So what I do is I say, okay, what are the qualities or characteristics that I can bring to a presentation or a counseling session that have the potential to be successful? See, those are within my control, my ability to kind of bring new information, to present it enthusiastically, to answer questions, to try to give examples of how to apply it. Once I've done everything I can do, then I kind of expect people to feel good about it and like what I do, and for the most part they do. So it's that ability to control the influence we have in our experience of life based on the qualities and characteristics we are bringing to life, because those are also within our control. Now, will everything work out the way we want? No. But that one kind of dip around disappointment, I think, is worth the whole idea of living disappointed, because that disappointed is that lower brain, fear-based, worry, concern perspective on life. So this is what I get to do. I get to go around the world teaching my life from the top of the mind philosophy. It's in the book. It's a system I've created, a step-by-step system, philosophy framework that shows people how to access this clear, confident, creative part of the brain, how to avoid that lower, stressed, anxious, frustrated part of the brain, how to rewire the brain so that that becomes our new habit, and then how to deal with other people so we get them to shift from their resistant brain to their receptive brain. If this is something you would like me to do with your organization, all you got to do is go to my website, billcrawford.phd.com, hit the contact button, let me know what you're interested in. Love to talk with you about that. In the meantime, if you're liking the videos, please hit the like button. I try to post one of these every week, so if you're finding these valuable, share them with your friends if you feel they're valuable. You know how all of the social media love it when you like it and share it. And I try to post these on like YouTube, of course, and Facebook and LinkedIn and iTunes and all of that thing. So feel free to check those out any way you want to. Subscribe if you like, so that when I post a new video, hey, you'll know what it is. You can check it out. So in the meantime, here's to you bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity into everything you do. And I look forward to seeing you in the future.